Hello. Right. What the fuck? Hey, come. All right. Making a sissy bar. We're using Sqaure bar, about 1/2 inch. I've just got to cut it to length, roughly. Then we're going to heat it up with the oxy, and we're going to try and twist it and get some cool looking shapes. Now, ideally, I wanted to heat it up and get someone else to twist it, so I didn't have to run backwards and forwards, and then I could sort of focus on heating it. But I've got a few ideas about how I'm going to do that anyway. So let's get it cut to length, and then let's have a little bit of a piss fart around with how we're gonna, what we're doing here. At the moment, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just evening them up, so I've got 2 lengths the same size. I've got 2 rods. 2 rods? Yeah, whatever. The same length. That's what I meant. You know what I mean? We got 2 bits of rod. I don't know why I keep saying that. Sqaure bar. Fucking, I don't know. You're gonna get what I mean. The same length. Now, we've got our oxy. We've got our overly messy workplace. I'm gonna have to get myself a bit organised here. I've got a few little ideas about what I'm gonna do, but I'm just gonna have to try and find some tools and see if I can get this to work. Okay, so what I've done, this isn't fully set up yet, but I've pretty much went and grabbed one of our stands, and luckily our stand has got a, this is what we rest material on when we're running it through a cutter or whatever. So I'm going to run it through the middle of this, and I'm going to clamp it so it's pretty level. Now, the issue with doing this is I'm not going to be able to make any bends up here. Now, what could I do to fix that? I could cut this shorter and have a thinner bit of pipe, but I reckon this is going to be handy having that stabilisation through it, especially for me that doesn't really know what they're doing. But the other thing is, I don't want twists all the way up it. It's not really, it's not what I'm going for. The bike's going to have pretty like sharp edges, like it's got a coffin tank, it's got an aggressive bend in the exhaust, so I don't need to just make all these curls going up the sissy bar. It may look a bit weird, but I do want to do it. It's something I've always wanted to do, so I still want to keep the Sqaure bar there. I still want to keep the Sqaure bar there, so I've got that aggressive square look, you know, to go with everything, but I don't want it to just look like I've just screwed on Sqaure bar and made a sissy bar out of it. So it has to have something a little bit different go into it, and that's what we're going to do. So I know roughly that where it bolts on near the wheel or the hub, I need a bit of room coming up, so I'm going to give that about the vice's thickness, and that'll be the same on each one. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to put my other piece, before I heat anything up or do anything, I'm going to put my Right, I'm going to put my other piece of flat bar beside it. I'm going to get some chalk. I'm going to measure, I'm going to mark out where I'm going to heat it up. So I heat up the exact same spot in each of them. Hey, hey, calm down. It's going to need to be a lot further apart. Look, it's got the same marks on it. Fuck it, we'll give it a go. If not, I'll just make it up as I go along. As soon as I put the torch on it, them fucking chalk marks will probably disappear anyway and we'll end up just winging it. Don't really give a fuck if one side's the same as the other. It's gonna look cool anyway. If it works. If it works. I should have paid a lot more attention when I was doing my apprenticeship. I've got to try and remember which one's the heating. Hope someone knows what they're fucking doing. This is going to be another fucking how not to. I can see it coming. Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke. Wire brush, need this. Once it's twisted, want to use the wire brush and get rid of any of the little filings, or not filings, want to get rid of any of the scale that's on it. Still has this like coating on it. You know what I mean, you know what I'm talking about. When it's twisted or when it's put under any pressure, bent, it flakes off. So when it's hot, best time to get it off. It was a bigger one of these, but look, you can weld on a piece to the end of the bar, nice big extension bit, and twist it and make it easy as. I've got this, I'm going to try this to start with and maybe put some, slide some bars over it just for a bit of leverage. If you think I'm rushing a bit tonight, it's because it is fucking freezing. Okay, they should go on there. Oh, that's good. Right. Okay, so game plan is heat up in between my marks, get it real hot, then cherry red. Then what I'm pretty much going to do is do something with the torch. I've got to think about that, where I'm going to hang it, come back here and twist, and hopefully not fuck it up too much. And a lot of it is, I'm probably just going to make this up as I go along. I've made plans, I know, but it's probably going to be completely different when I start doing it. I'd expect in this size material or maybe in any size material, I'm not too sure, that you would get some kinks and bends in it. That's just the way it's going to happen. Straighten it out. I think that's just the nature of the beast. I haven't went out of my way to do any special design, so at the end of the day, as long as it's straight, the only thing I'm trying to do is keep a square end down there and a square end up here so it lines up. So there's a few different twirls and bits and pieces. Some I did a bit tight, some I did multiple ones. That was the point. I would have, deep down, I would have loved to been able to replicate it on the other side, but I'm just not going to be able to. Right, battery went flat. Just made the last bend. Not bend, twist. And I tried to make the last one the same as the last one on the other one. I wonder if it changes the length. It hasn't really changed the length, so that's not too bad. So that's that. Next thing to do is straighten out. Maxing the spot on. Yeah, better than that. It's a little good. Don't know if I'm good. She's good. That bit's done. All right. Don't even know what I'm up to be honest with you. We've got, okay, we've done our bars. So this is them. And I've straightened them out. They obviously, when you twist them, they get a little bit of a bend in them at each twist. If you're good at it and you've done it all the time, you could maybe stop that. So a bit that you didn't see was the battery went flat on the GoPro, and I just put them in the press. At work, when I say press, you could use like a little shop press. It didn't really matter. I put a block of wood underneath, so it sort of squashed into it without damaging the twists that are in there. So I just put a block of wood, and then I just brought down the hydraulic press, and as I just fed them through and just straightened about some high and low spots, and they've turned out reasonably straight. So it was actually easier to do than I thought it was going to be. Now I've also, well, I didn't have the GoPro. These are just some rough cut out. These are going to be the mounts. They're going to go like this. Center punch the hole there, so I've got to drill the hole out. We'll weld these on, tidy them up, make them actually look half decent. And instead of, a lot of people will get these and they'll just drill a hole through here and go straight to the rear of the bike with it. I didn't want to do that. It looks a bit each their own, but I think it looks just shit. That's it. I can't say it any nicer. I think it looks shit when you've just bolted a piece of flat bar onto the back of your bike. If you're doing a rat bike, like maybe my old Ironhead, probably wouldn't matter too much, but I think it just really it just stands out. It just looks like someone's bolted a bar on there, which I guess they have, but anyway, you hope you get me point. So what are we doing now? I also got some of these. We've got a big it's a notcher or a puncher, and it does a few things, so I've completely forgotten what the name of it is, around at work. So when we're doing big thick plates, it leaves these left over. We've punched out holes, and if you've watched the other videos, you've seen where I've had these from previous jobs that I just drill out the centres, and then I just tap them, and poor man's bungs. So there's nowhere really to buy them in. Well, there is, but they're fucking expensive for a bung when I can make my own. So yeah, look, and you can make your own bungs. Like, these are only just, you know, dodgy ones, but they work well for me. But if you ever wanted to make your own, you just get a bit of flat bar. Okay, you just get a bit of round bar, put it in your drop saw, cut it off at whatever length you want your bungs, drill them, tap them, done. That's how you make a bung. If you didn't know, which you probably did. Alright, now I haven't got a fucking vise for me drill, so I'm going to have to work out a way that I can hold these bungs on there while I drill them out. And the same, these aren't too big a deal. I can definitely clamp these on. Once I drill the hole there, I'm actually going to put maybe a thread in these so they can sit behind me bit that the wheel bolts to behind the frame, and I can just screw through it into it, but that might not be possible yet, so I've got to check that out. We'll get to that bridge when we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Alright, so having a look here, I think I'm going to have to clean these up, and which I was going to, but clean them up, and I'm going to screw through that. I'm going to drill through that, and I'm actually going to tap the frame. So I'm going to go through that and tap in the frame, because I'm not really going to be able to get a nut in there. This side was the side I was thinking of, and even then it's pretty close. If I was going to go through it and then just go into that, it would have been, you know, it would have been fine, but to put a nut on the back of it as well, it's probably going to be too hard. So the nut will be the frame. I'll drill a hole in here, I'll tap it, and then I'll just drill a normal hole through this, and it will go through there, and that will fix it on. Now the next thing I've got to think of is clearance with everything. With this, this can't go anywhere else, so I can't have it there, it's too far back, so, and then it'll get in the way of adjustment. So I've got a feeling that I'm going to have to go there, and then I may have to bend this out and come up and then bend it back in a bit with the frame, but that looks like I'm kind of stuck with that mounting position, so it'll just come down to doing a few bends and things like that. Alright, well that's enough talking shit. That's enough for me pretending to know what I'm talking about. Let's get stuck into it. I don't know how anyone else feels about it, but I feel great. I'm really confident in this. I can't believe I haven't got a fucking vise. I think I took it to the workshop. I don't know what the fuck I've done with it. How have I got by for so long without a vise? I hope no one ever has to do that with a clamp and not a vise. Alright, next thing, we've got to mark out our frame. We're going to center punch. Maybe I can find my center punch, don't know. We're going to center punch, drill that, tap that, then that's done. Would anyone believe me if I said I found me center punch? Hey? What's that? I found it, man. No more, where is that thing? No more end of a dart center punching for this old kid. Up in the big leagues now. Alright, so about ready to center punch, drill and tap the frame. I'll get me mock up little sissy bar thing happening. Okay, so I think the best spot is to go, the axle is all the way forward at the moment, and just go directly above that. That way, I mean, if my ass is sitting in here and I ever have a seat on it where someone's going to get dinked, which I highly doubt, but anyway, having a seat there, it's easier if I move the sissy bar back, either way it looks cool. But if I mount it all the way back here, one, it's in the way because I've run out of room because of this coming down on an angle. But even if I was to mount it right at the back, if I put a king queen seat on it, that I don't make, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it, but one, it's probably going to look a bit, I don't know, it might be too long. And you don't want to be having to bring your bars, your sissy bar forward to meet up with the seat. Even though that's not going to happen because more than likely I'm going to build the seat. I think it is better to have it there. I would rather have it tilted back a bit, even if it's really aggressively tilted back. I'd rather have it tilted back a bit than sitting too far back on the bike. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that out now and get ready to drill this hole. And look, there's not going to be really much I can do about anything at the moment where all this stuff sits. It's just going to be where it sits, and I'll have to work my way around that a bit later. You know, I'll have to come up past this and then bend it in maybe. Anyway, it's easier to do once you've got all this on there, I've found anyway.
Centre of the axle, this here, where it joins, is about 40mm. That's 40 there. I reckon that's as close as I'm going to get. Right, on the outside, what about actually,
I'm going to centre punch this now.
And so that looks pretty good. Break that off your neck.
Always give your threads a bit of a blowout with air or some sort of penetrant or lubricant, anything that can just clean them up a bit. There we go. This will tell me also if I need some longer or shorter bolts if they foul up on anything. Alright, so this is the first mock-up. When I run me flat bar, I obviously favour it so the flat bar's sticking out this side to give me that little bit extra clearance, because it's going to come up on, it's going to kind of go on an angle. I doubt very much I'm going to clear this, so I'm probably going to have to weld it on flat, run it up, and then see what I'm going to do. Not set on any design yet with a Sissy bar, so I can change it to suit. I don't want to, got to be really careful with that sort of thing though. You don't change it to suit what's easier, and it ends up, you end up making things look shit or a long way away from how you pictured them. So all marked out. Don't know if you can see it. It just tidies things up a little bit. So when they eventually go on, there'll be something like that sitting there. Okay. Next thing we've got to do. Sissy bar. Made the threads for the Sissy bar mounts to go in. So I've made the mounts, these are the lower mounts. Now we need to make the mounts that will come off the Sissy bar, and a bolt will go through them and thread into the guard bungs that we made. So that's what we're doing now. Let's do it. Alright, so I've got an old truck mount here. This was a truck engine mount off an old Isuzu or something like that. I think it was an Isuzu that we wrecked for parts a long time ago. It was sitting in the yard. I got it off because of these suckers. I've already actually cut bits off this before to make other mounts out of it. I'm thinking I might be able to cut this off just roughly for now, and then I'll tidy it up. And because it's got this step in it, it might, if I put the top of the step in up here, it'll step down and look pretty groovy. Look like it's meant to be there. I'm going to give that a go first, and then if it doesn't work, then I'm going to go to plan B. Okay, so I'll show you what I was thinking. So, roughly. And like that. This is a little bit custom, a little bit rock and roll. Custom as in I didn't have to make it, it was already made, but you know, that's what it's about. Finding things around that you can use. Felt like that other one was only a couple of mil too far forward, and sure enough, it was. Alright. I'll tell you what, it helps having a good centre punch, if you didn't know. Time to drill. Shit. Next step is welding it, and that'll finish her off. Weld everything up, mount it, finish mounting the fender. Then, yeah, I guess you don't need to know because I'll tell you in the next video.